So, okay, let's get right into it, and then I'll shout out AG1 in a minute. But who the Niners should sign? If it's not Zach Wilson, if it's not any, I would say no wide receiver. They could trade for Jordan Addison, who's still on his rookie deal, but then you're going to give him an extension. And I think, again, what we're seeing is it's not about having the best weapons. It's about being it's about being rock solid at worst in the trenches. So, not Alec Pierce, not Jawan Jennings, not Deebo Samuel, not a cornerback. I would, and really, you could get an offensive lineman. But the way I look at it is the Niners drafted their first 5 picks last year were defensive players. 3 defensive linemen: Michael Williams, Alfred Collins, CJ West. I don't think you can do it again. I think it's ridiculous to spend another first round pick this year on a defensive lineman. You just did that last year. And they're all projects and you knew it. So now, because they didn't give you, sacks, that you're gonna double up in the draft. Nah, I think they're gonna go offense in the draft this year. So I'm thinking in round 1, they gotta go offensive line. Trent Williams is 38, Jake Brendel's 34, and you don't have a left guard. So really, any position on the offensive line is good. If you could get a starting left guard in round 1, that'd be great. That's what the Seahawks did last year. But in free agency, I would go defense. It seems like it's a defensive league, and if you don't have a great defense, you're not making it to the Super Bowl. And the Niners don't have a great defense, not even close. They have a young defense with a couple, they got a young defense plus Bosa and Warner and Lenore, who's young. So a young defense plus Bosa and Warner. That's not enough. They need to make some serious additions to the defense through free agency after gutting it last year. And you know what? Maybe they were right to let Dre Greenlaw go. They were not right to let Talanoa Hufanga go. That was dumb. He's good and young. He was just coming off a torn ACL. It took him a year. Now he's really good. He should still be on the 49ers. So here are 2 players I think the Niners should sign this offseason instead of Alec Pierce. And they have the cap space to do it. First off, Odafe, I can't pronounce it. Hold on, let me get his name. Sorry. I can't pronounce his name. It's a tough one. Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't want to butcher his name. I want to get it right. Odafe Owe. Okay? Odafe Owe was with the Chargers this year. He was with the Ravens before then. He's a Mike McDonald guy. Then he was with Jesse Minter, who was also, a Harbaugh guy. This past year, he had 7.5 sacks. The year before that, 10. The year before that, 5. He's a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's 27 years old. I think the Niners need a 3-4 outside linebacker because that's what Raheem Morris does. He's a 5-man front guy. They can use some 4-man fronts, but they were using 5-man fronts a lot last year with Saleh. And that 5th guy on the line of scrimmage was D. Winters a lot of the time. No, he's not good. And he's not a pass rusher. If you have a linebacker on the line of scrimmage, he should be able to rush the quarterback in addition to set the edge and drop into coverage. And Owe can do that. He's a hell of an athlete. He's a good pass rusher. He'd give you like a bookend across from Nick Bosa. And then you can figure out the interior rushers, Michael Williams and Alfred Collins. I don't know. I don't know about the interior rush. CJ West. But I think they definitely need to sign an edge rusher. Look at the Seahawks. They signed DeMarcus Lawrence. That was a great signing for them. They don't shy away from signing people in the front 7. They brought in Uchenna Nwosu. They didn't draft him. They traded for Leonard Williams and extended him. I didn't draft him. They're not shying away from bringing in veterans on the D-line. They're not trying to draft. They did draft a few guys, Boye Mafe. I'm just saying. I think the Niners should do the same thing. Go get the best 3-4 outside linebacker out there. Get a guy who's in his 20s. I suggest Odafe Owe. And then you're not done. How about a safety? You can't keep going out there with Jair Brown. He's not good. And I don't even know about Malik Mustafa. I feel like the jury's out on Malik Mustafa, but I'm not looking to replace him. I'm looking to have someone next to him. Mustafa at strong safety. I want a free safety. How about Brian Cook from the Chiefs? He was great. He was ranked very highly by Pro Football Focus. He's a good all-around safety. He's good in coverage. He's good against the run. He's fast. He hits hard. You've had success bringing in former Chiefs DBs in the past. Safeties aren't that expensive. You could probably get him for like $10 million a year as opposed to Alec Pierce. And this guy would have a bigger impact on your team than a wide receiver who catches 3 passes a game. A free safety's in the middle of the action all the time. And I think one thing that Harbaugh preached, and you got to remember, McDonald is a Harbaugh guy. You always want to be strong up the middle. And the Niners are not particularly strong at safety. They're strong at middle linebacker. They brought in some reinforcements at defensive tackle, but they're not good enough at free safety. And that is a position where it doesn't cost you a lot of money to be good there. You want to be good at safety. This is why the Seahawks are so intriguing to me, because they spend on all the right positions. You can spend on D tackles, you can spend on linebackers, you can spend on safeties. Those aren't overpaid positions. Wide receiver is, quarterback is, offensive tackle is. So load up on those defense. You can really put together a great defense in today's NFL with all kind of talent. And the guys who are really expensive are the edge rushers and the corners. So I bet you Reek Williams is probably going to go. And they'll replace him with some corner who's on a rookie deal and fast and cheap. That's probably what they're going to do. They'll have a revolving door of they'll pay for like one edge rusher at a time, and then they'll have 2 or 3 guys who they drafted. They're going to have to pay JSN. It'll be interesting to see if they pay Charles Cross. But they're a defensive team. I wonder how many of those big contracts they'll give out to offensive players. Guys who play positions that are overpaid. It's going to be so interesting because they have an elite GM who knows what he's doing, and the Niners don't. So to me, if you want to learn how to put together a team, you got to look at Schneider and you got to look at Howie Roseman, although he's stuck with that terrible coach. And they have a new offensive coordinator every year, and no one wants to be the offensive coordinator. And the Eagles have some issues, but the Seahawks seem to be, well, they just won the Super Bowl, right? They seem to be pretty good.